Welcome to Universe 7's Dragon Ball podcast. I'm Nick.
And I'm Mason.
And today we're going to be talking about episode 7 of Dragon Ball Super, titled, How Dare You Do That to My Bulma? Vegeta's Metamorphosis of Fury. Welcome to the show, everyone. Thanks for listening. The boys are back in town. Okay. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. We're back. Another week, another episode. We're going to talk about episode 7.
Oh, yeah. Just before I forget, our viewership, we're almost at 900. We have 899, so somebody listen so we can get 900. That'd be cool. Just one. I've been waiting all day long.
Be that 900th download, please. Thanks for listening, everybody. We don't have a ton in the news this week.
No, not really. Just another hashtag Cell Games by Team 4-Star.
Yep, it is Mr. Perfect Cell against Kenshiro from the Dragon Fist blah blah North Star manga. What's it called? Fist of the North Star manga. Yeah. I have no idea what that is. I'm not going to pretend to either, but you guys should really check out those videos. They're promoting the Cell Games arc for Team 4-Star's Dragon Ball Z Abridged because they are fantastic.
Yes, and we're not going to pretend to know anything about manga besides what Dragon Ball is. We're not real good at it just yet. But we're breaking into other things, like you're watching One Punch Man now, right?
I accidentally watched an episode of One Punch Man yesterday, and I really liked it.
So I'll maybe watch it if I come across it, but no guarantees.
Yeah, it's probably not going to happen.
That's really it for the week. Thank you again for, like always, just downloading, listening, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. We really, really appreciate it. So, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. As you may or may not know, it's a pretty small holiday, but Valentine's Day was this week.
It was, and we love all of you. Most of you.
Mostly him. Moving on. Just kidding. I do love you guys. Too much. And I celebrated that with my girlfriend last night, being that today is Sunday. We did it late because I'm a bad boyfriend. And
you had to work.
Yeah, but yeah, we had a nice time. Went out to dinner, saw La La Land.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to Red Lobster. So it was good stuff. I had a bunch of lobster, and she had a bunch of lobster.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't really have much.
Were they red?
No, they weren't. Ironically enough, because I don't know why. I'm not a connoisseur of lobster, but after that we went and saw La La Land, which was great. So if you've seen La La Land, you did the right thing, and if you haven't, go watch it because Emma Stone's insanely hot.
It was funny. You went to Red Lobster last night.
Yeah.
I made Red Lobster biscuits here at home.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Were they good? Or
did they turn out terrible? Got a new grill last night. Actually, they turned out pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay.
We got a new grill, and we made some steaks with mashed potatoes, and it was going to be a nice meal. Steak, potatoes, biscuits. Red Lobster biscuits. The biscuits turned out terrible, and it's completely my fault.
Hey, man. Well, just cook them better next time.
Yeah. For Valentine's Day, Julie and I went to Portillo's.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what Portillo's is, it's this fantastic place where you can get Italian beef that Mason hates.
I don't like that place because morally, the food's good. Morally, they screwed me, and I won't go back. On that note, our not sponsored this week is Portillo's.
I was going to say, welcome to the Universe 7 podcast, not sponsored by Portillo's.
But yeah,
go there, tell them it's your birthday, and they'll give you a free piece of cake.
But you don't have to show them your ID because then they'll know it's not your birthday. So don't order any alcoholic beverages.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a good week.
We also today my brother's been hosting a bunch of people at his house, and we grilled out today, and that was really fun. I cook a mean burger myself.
Yeah, it's also why we're recording so late. You guys won't be able to tell. Well, you probably would by now. The podcast would normally be up.
I mean, if you guys are just stark raving mad to see it and you're just like refreshing constantly, you probably won't know that it's up late. But hey, I don't know. You might be.
Yeah.
We have an actual fan that reached out to us, and that was really cool. Yeah. We didn't think we had actually any fans. Because
we really did. We've seen all the downloads, but we really haven't had any interaction on social media.
Bit, so we'd really love it if you guys keep that up, because honestly, it's super cool. Shout out to Portland. Portland, yeah. I've been to Portland once, and I went by myself. That's it.
Spent some time in a brothel and
I did a lot of
heroin.
golfing. Oh, yeah. I mean, that was not something I wanted to talk about, but that's fine if you want to bring it up.
Yeah.
I told you that in confidence, but whatever, man. We'll just put it out there. I did a bunch of heroin in Portland,
Oregon. So, Portland authorities come to Rockford.
Yeah.
And then this show will end.
Well, I mean, I
can't do this by myself.
Six. You just talk to yourself about it. You probably could do a better job of it by yourself.
Welcome
honestly.
to the Universe 7 podcast. We are not looking for a new co-host because our current co-host is probably going to be detained by Portland authorities in the next 72 hours.
And if you are going to take my place, just know that you'll probably be better than
Shut
me.
up.
So
You're fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good week.
Yeah,
our downloads have been keeping steady. Last we checked, we were at 899. So
let's get that last one, baby, and
Let's
then we're gonna end it.
The road to 1,000. As soon as we hit 1,000, we're ending the show, and you can
just re-listen to them forever.
You guys can listen to another Dragon Ball podcast that isn't ours.
Yeah.
Except don't do that. Only listen to us. You can only listen to us. You cannot cheat on us.
Because we'll be jealous because it's Valentine's Day weekend and I'm feeling insecure.
Speaking of Valentine's Day, though, you had some cool love gifts.
I sure did. My girlfriend got new laundry. No, I'm kidding. She painted me a really cool picture of, spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear this, pause now and unpause. And it's a
villain from several episodes from now.
Yeah, like 50,
not named Beerus.
Yeah, like 50 episodes from now. And it's a really, really cool painting. If you want to see it, we're going to be posting it to our site page really, really soon. And just take a look. Tell us what you think. I think it's good personally.
Yeah, it's really good. We'll throw it up on Twitter and on the Facebook page for anybody who wants to see it. But anyway, we've kind of been babbling on longer than we normally do in an episode, so
yeah, we're real.
I think that's a side effect of us not having a ton of news to cover.
Yeah, so if we'll probably do this every week because it's nice to just talk a little bit too instead of just strictly sticking to Dragon Ball, even though that's probably what you guys want because you don't care about our lives. But it is nice to talk. So if you want to skip ahead, skip ahead.
If not, we're gonna jump into the recap now.
All right. So
episode started right where it left off last week. Mm-hmm. Actually, right where, because the last week's episode ended with Beerus blasting Boo into the ocean, and it picked up with the wave that the ocean made after Boo got knocked into it.
So yeah, we're not even 1 second farther in the future. So
good job, writers.
Yeah, I'm pumped. And like you saw before, Vegeta's real nervous because Beerus is...
Nervous is understating it. He's straight up terrified now.
He's a 9 on the P scale, as you've said earlier.
Solid 9.
Solid 9.
He needs new underwear.
Gross. But yeah, he's obviously very scared out of his little panties, and Beerus is looking sinister as usual.
He's looking super sinister.
It's... As far as we've known him so far, he is...
That was the most villainous we've seen him today.
So far, yeah. Like he's ready to destroy that place. Mm-hmm. He's over it. He doesn't care. He wanted pudding, and Boo was a prick. But yeah, that's where it picks up. Vegeta's weird, and then...
Bulma's looking on at him. He's sweating so much that it's dripping onto the ground.
I thought it was blood, and I was hoping it was bleeding out of his brain like Master Roshi all the time.
Yeah, Bulma's watching him.
And she can tell he's like pretty nervous.
Concerned.
Yeah, he's obviously not being himself because Vegeta's always full of bravado and he's just a cocky guy.
And he doesn't take crap from anyone.
Mm-mm. And he's letting this guy do whatever he wants.
Which
is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's the most anti-Vegeta thing.
Especially, like, if it was just somebody, like, yelling, whatever, Vegeta probably wouldn't care, but it's, like, somebody fighting, and that's what Vegeta does. So she just figures he would have jumped in by now, but he hasn't. Yeah. So that's concerning her.
That facade of concern quickly fades away when Bulma tells him, Vegeta, normally I would tell you to just brush this off and ignore it, but he is ruining my birthday party, so you go tell him to stop.
And then Vegeta actually kind of snaps out of it for a minute.
Well, he's just like, Bulma,
He'd rather face the wrath of Beerus before he faced the wrath of Bulma, for sure. And that's the power of Bulma. It really is. She's one of the most dynamic characters in the show at the end of the day.
Oh, yeah. She's the best.
I don't know. She just has she controls Goku. She has all of these mightiest warriors in the universe that we've met so far by the coattails. She has them. They do anything that she wants.
Shout out to Monica. You're killing it still.
Of course.
Bulma tells Vegeta, hey, figure this out. Vegeta, nervous, very sheepishly, would probably be a better word for it, flies up to Beerus and
he's like, my grace. I like when he says my grace. I think that's really
have
funny.
mercy.
Yeah.
And he's past that point. He's having none of it.
He's like, get out of my way. Get out of my way.
But Beerus, please.
Get out of my way.
And then after Vegeta persists a little too long, he just screams at him, just get out of my freaking way.
I've had enough.
Yeah.
At that point, boo.
Well, no, after that, Vegeta's just done. And
he's not going to say anymore.
Back down to the earth, and
everybody's like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, Piccolo's looking at him, just like, even Vegeta is trembling. Like, what's going on with this guy? And when he says that, he notices Dende right next to him trembling too, which is weird because everybody else is...
Whatever, but I don't know why he's so weirded out by that, because Dende's not that strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it was more of a...
Dende's been spooked before.
Yeah, I think it was just more of a...
foreshadowing type thing.
No, just Dende. It's odd that only Dende and Vegeta
are
the ones that are...
Because, well, like you said, it says even, soon after this, nobody else can sense their energy. Vegeta is scared because he knows his title.
Yeah.
But Dende, for some reason, can feel...
He's never seen this guy.
But he can feel, something, I don't know,
and
probably
Piccolo
a pressure.
asks him about it. He's like, Dende, what are you sensing? And Dende's just trembling.
And he's like...
If you're sensing something, you need to tell me.
Yeah.
And the way Dende explains it is like, this energy, it's unlike anything I've ever felt before. And then Piccolo, so you're telling me he has a unique key?
And yeah, that's what he just said. Well, of course that's what he's telling you.
Yeah. So like you said, right after that, boom, right out of the water, Boo flies back up, and he's back for round 2, which lasts about as long as Ronda Rousey.
Yep. He comes a barreling in after screaming a lot because he's not very well educated.
Well, he's pissed.
He's very mad. He's like, nobody can do this to me. Nobody's able to do this to him. Some fighters like Goku, Super Saiyan 3, and Ultimate Gohan, they could take him on one-on-one. Yeah, but he'd get his blows in, you know what I mean?
Boo's one of the strongest in the universe.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
He just got toyed with.
So he's real mad, understandably. So he kind of throws a temper tantrum, runs in pretty blindly. Beerus does this weird spin kick type thing and just...
He kicks him and it grabs him at the same time with that foot and just throws him into a food cart.
Yep, and hopefully no one was in there because they're for sure dead.
Yeah. Well, you see a guy, one of the vendors, just right next to it.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. So somebody's dead.
And then 2 carts next to that, though, is our favorite person of this arc so far.
Yeah.
Whis is just sitting there with the sushi vendor, and
he just doesn't care. He's like, oh well, I better eat.
Well, he's picking the ear picking the brain,
picking the ear, a little pick of the earwax of this man.
Disgusting. He's picking the brain of the sushi vendor, just talking.
He's like, hey, because he really enjoys the food so far, so he's just trying to get as much information as possible before it's not there anymore, which is going to be soon.
Right, and he's just eating, enjoying it. He's really enjoying it. Is an understatement.
It's almost his nut face.
God.
It really is.
Go there. I mean, you're right, but. He is.
If I could put it more delicately, it's more of...
Let's just put it this way. He is thoroughly enjoying this food.
He's euphoric, if that would be more delicate.
Yeah. While Whis is having this experience, Beerus is ready to go. He's ready to just give up on this whole Super Saiyan God nonsense, blow up the planet, and get out.
Yeah.
But when Beerus tells Whis, hey, let's go, let's wrap it up. Speaking of wrap it up, Whis
That's
is
good.
having the sushi vendor. He's like, no, wait, you can just be patient, Lord Beerus, because I'm having him make a nice to-go plate for us.
Yeah, a sample platter, if you will.
Yeah, I guess so they call it the sample platter.
If you've ever had a sample platter, it's good.
Yeah.
That's all. Anywhere. Just get a sample platter. You can get everything. It's the best thing you could do. Moving on.
Yeah, so he tells Beerus to wait. Beerus disagrees. Like, fine, I'm just going to go ahead and destroy this planet, and unless you're coming with me, you're going to.
Yeah.
Not in a very sinister way, just kind of
He's like, all right, man, sorry.
It's like when
friends or siblings jab at each other. It's like, if you're not coming, I'm going to, go too. Like, what the hell?
Well, it's like a parent with their kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, fine, I'm leaving. I'm just going to walk out and leave you here.
And Whis just doesn't seem to hear him,
No,
which is just him ignoring him.
Pretty
Obviously.
much. And in that moment, we jump to Trunks and Goten.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
They're fusing to become the delinquent Gotenks.
Yes, he is...
He calls himself a superhero, which I thought was a little odd.
Like, even Trunks doesn't have that much, bravado and just angst. What happens when they fuse? I just don't understand it.
I don't know, because to me,
you think it would be more balanced because Goten's the sweetest boy on earth.
Yeah, I was going to say Gotenks feels like Trunks dialed up to 11.
So, I just don't understand why that is, though. Because,
here, think
Vegeta...
you know what I just thought of?
But Vegeta and Goku together make, a pretty good blend between the two. Somebody that's...
Really? You think so?
I do, actually.
I feel like Vegeta is, 90% Vegeta, 10% Goku.
Not really, because he his attitude towards fighting is, he wants to toy around. Vegeta doesn't. He wants to take care of business. So I think that's more Goku in that sense. But yeah, the intellect and I guess vocabulary just in general is obviously Vegeta.
I consider his carefree attitude from Vegeta's cockiness.
I don't. I think he just enjoys fighting. But yeah, it's overall the overwhelming personality that Vegeta has for sure takes over in that aspect. But I think there is a good blend between him and Goku. It's
better than Gotenks.
It's all Trunks.
Well,
because it's just Trunks, even more Trunks.
Well, think about it this way: Goten is he's very much a little kid.
Yeah,
you know
but he's only a year older.
True, but personality-wise, he's very much a little kid.
Yeah.
So you take Trunks' cockiness, and then you add the naivety, however you would say that of Goten. And then all of a sudden you have this cocky kid who wants to be a superhero.
That's fair.
That side might come from Goten.
Okay, that's a good point. I agree with that actually a lot. That's really funny. I never thought about it that way.
I didn't think about that until maybe 10 seconds ago.
Like this video, if you agree.
It's a non-existent video in an audio podcast.
Yes. But yeah, that's a really good point. I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, me neither. And now Gotenks has kind of...
Makes a little more sense. Yeah. You're welcome, everybody. Yeah.
You're welcome for solving the mystery of Gotenks' personality.
Go ahead and write a letter to Akira Toriyama and tell him the mystery solved.
Tell him you're sorry. So yeah, Gotenks is reborn, flies up to fight Beerus, and Vegeta is just like, boys, no, don't do it. And of course, they don't listen.
Good old daddy.
Half daddy?
No, real daddy. Good old Daddy Beerus disciplines these boys good.
Oh, yeah. Well, first they fly up and they call Beerus a little kitty cat.
Oh, yeah. They're being crazy rude. It's super funny. Mm-hmm. This is the best, in my opinion, this is one of the best parts of the episode.
I think so, too.
As much as Gotenks, annoys me sometimes, he has some good lines.
Yeah, so Gotenks flies up. He just starts being super rude to Beerus. He's trying to fight him, and Beerus is that supposed to hurt? Because it doesn't.
Why didn't, what was surprising me to this whole situation, the entire time Gotenks is clearly not phasing this guy, it doesn't occur to him to become a Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Plot?
Yeah, but dumb.
But
dumb.
I wish he would have gone Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah, that would, he did in the movie.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Maybe that's them zigging where Battle of Gods the movie zagged. So
yeah, I mean, just
that's
trying
the
to
only
have the minorest details to go in a different direction.
Yeah, that's the only explanation that I can think of when it comes to that particular direction.
Sure, that's fair.
But yeah, Gotenks is being super rude. Beerus calls him a child, and Gotenks retorts, You're
the one
calling me
being
a
a
child?
child.
Take a look in the mirror, dude. You're the one throwing a little hissy fit over a little bit of pudding. And from there, we get some of Jason Douglas's
Best work so far.
best work of the entire series so far. And I wrote this down. Did I? No, I didn't write it down. No, I did.
There it is.
Beerus's dessert tragedy.
Yeah.
It's like, you dare make mockery of my dessert tragedy.
It's so good.
And he just goes into this little 15 to 30 second monologue of, I don't know how pudding tastes.
It's going to be eons thinking about how this
he's asking and making all these different faces like, is it sweet?
Savory?
Is it spongy? Is it experimental? Ooh, he's just going all over the place.
He's real passionate about, like, these guys, if you haven't guessed so far, they love food.
Yeah.
So he's being real passionate about it, just going on and on and on. And Gotenks is like getting
spit on.
It looks like he's about to cry because he has water under his eyes, but it's just Beerus's spit. It's disgusting. I would lose my mind if I had that much spit on me.
And I'm super glad that they knocked that scene out of the park, because yesterday morning, yesterday being Saturday, I watched the Japanese one, and that was the one takeaway I took from that episode, was that scene where I don't know the voice actor's name for Beerus in Japan off the top of my head. Sure. I apologize, but that scene, he knocked it out of the freaking park. And that entire time, I'm just sitting there thinking, man, I hope they knock this out of the park for Funimation, and they did.
They killed it. That was my favorite part of the entire episode. It was one of my favorite just exchanges between characters just in the series so far. It was extremely good. And then
he finishes up, and Gotenks like, hey man, say it, don't spray it.
And after that, he's like, if it was up to me, you'd be getting nothing but cat food, not pudding.
And this whole time, unbeknownst to us, until Gotenks announces it, he thinks that Beerus is just there to steal the Dragon Balls. Mm-hmm. He's like, I know what you're trying to do, but I'm going to protect the Dragon Balls. And that catches Beerus's attention. Like, Dragon Balls? What kind of delicacy is this?
Because he loves food.
And when he's trying to fight him, and then as soon as he says Dragon Balls,
caught him attention real quick.
It caught his attention to the point where he caught his fist by the wrist between two fingers, and he's just holding him there.
He's asking him
questions.
Like,
what do you mean Dragon Balls?
Gotenks.
Is it like what sort of? He's asking him like, what kind of food is this? And this moment shocked me.
Yeah,
because Gotenks says, it's not food, you dumbass.
He said dumbass. I was pumped. It was really good. We went back and watched it like 2 other times right after that, because
did that just happen?
Like, yeah, they've said like bastard and damn and other things like in Kai, not in the regular series.
True. Yeah,
they haven't Gotenks, like they haven't done any like real insults like dumbass, like a modern day take on an insult.
And that line was all Trunks.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man. The best part about the Japanese and Z was like Trunks and Vegeta being able to give people the finger.
Yeah.
Or Gotenks, I should say.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But Gotenks calls Beerus a dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, Beerus puts on his daddy pants, and he tells him, you need to be disciplined, and starts slapping Gotenks on the wrist. Like a parent, like the 2-finger slap.
Our friend James, when he was a kid, he told us about how his dad beat him up with a pen before. And that's what that reminded me of immediately. Shout out to James and your father beating you with a pen.
Here at the Universe 7 podcast, we openly advocate parents beating their children. JK, no we don't. No we don't.
Maybe. No. But it was really...
it was hilarious.
It was really, really funny.
I just spent the entire scene thinking Beerus is daddy.
He wrote that down on his show notes. He said, Beerus is daddy.
You need to be disciplined. Beerus is daddy. That could go in 2 very different directions depending on how you're using it.
That if anybody draws any fan hentai out there, go ahead and send us some of that. Just kidding. We went through some of that, or my brother went through some of that already.
I was offered that, and it was disgusting.
Yep, not great. So
anyway... that was warranted.
Err on the side of caution when somebody offers you hentai. If you don't know what that is, sometimes it's the worst thing you could ever imagine. And that's all I have to say.
I should edit that out, but I'm not going to.
Sure.
So, yeah, Beerus beats up Gotenks, flicks him into the wall, to which Gotenks apologizes, and I'm assuming he crashes on the ground and defuses right away because that's how it happens.
He says, "I'm sorry, Daddy."
And from there, I don't know why, but after seeing Goten and Trunks fusion fail, Android 18, Piccolo, and Ten Shinhan seemingly think that they would stand a better chance.
Which is not correct.
Stupid.
Not correct at all. But what are you going to do? You can't tell these guys anything. Yeah. But, like, understandably, he's about to blow up the Earth, so they got to try at least. And that's even what Piccolo says. He's like, we might not be a match for you, but damned if I'm going to sit here and watch you just destroy the Earth without trying.
Yeah, damned if I'm going to be like Yamcha.
Exactly. And that's what happens soon. We'll get to that soon, but that is very relevant.
Yeah, but those three, they try fighting Beerus, and it is going nowhere. Beerus is just dodging all of their attacks with ease. And he does something
with his eyes, like how he has been with Vegeta before, and just kind of incapacitating him before he even gets to him.
He knocked all three of them out of commission without touching them.
With just like a glare, it looked like. It was so strange. Like you see like a weird pressure go towards them, and they're done. And then Dende actually has to heal Piccolo, and he's like, how could he incapacitate all of us without even touching us?
And that's while that's happening, of course, Whis is still eating.
Oh man, this is where he gets extremely flamboyant. And
he had some sort of it looked like a lobster roll or something like that.
Yeah, it was something. But if you guys don't like sushi, this looked like some of the best sushi you could ever have.
It reminded me of when you're a kid and you're watching Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And they get the completely uncooked steak.
Yeah.
And it looks like you could just grab that from the TV and eat it.
Take a little bite out of it, a little nibble or a big chunk, and it would be the best meal you've ever had.
That or a Krabby Patty.
Krabby Patties look good.
Yeah.
That's all I got on Krabby Patties. But...
Yeah, Whis is still with the vendor. He's having an out-of-body experience. He's asking the vendor to explain to him what all these rolls are, and he just tells him, he's like, oh, you are just the best. No, you're wonderful.
You're a peach.
Well, that comes later. That comes later.
Yeah, you're right. I'm so excited about it. It was good.
That was my favorite part of the episode.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, even with Gotenks and all that cool stuff, but watching Whis interact with the food vendor the entire episode is just fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, once again, Whis is talking to the vendor. Beerus wants to go, but still has to wait for the to-go box. And
I'm over the food part. Like there's just constant jibber jabber between those two, and
I loved it. But
I understand. Like I like Whis being like, yeah, this is great, and like going back to him eating, but I don't care for Beerus just screaming at him all the time. It's like, yeah, I get it. You want to go. You want
to blow up the Earth.
I understand.
And from there, we jump to Krillin asking 18 if she's okay, and Chi-Chi walks over and yells at Krillin, like, your wife is out there fighting and you're just standing here. And Krillin just like, hey, I'm not a martial artist anymore, so you need to back off.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the first times you'll ever see Krillin tell off Chi-Chi.
We didn't really tell her off.
But
I maybe explained that a little strong.
But even say anything to Chi-Chi. He's so scared of Chi-Chi and Z and Kai, or not Kai, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. He's so scared of Chi-Chi. So,
and his defense was somebody has to stay here and take care of Marin.
And this is when the worst person in the series comes in, and it's Yamcha. He's like, don't worry, I'll take care of Marin, Krillin. You can go fight all you want to your heart's content.
You go ahead and get killed. I'll hang out here.
Which is so funny considering he was like, Tiberius, I'm the best martial artist here. And he's like,
You know what? This is new headcanon for me. You know why he did that?
He wants to be with 18.
Yes, he wanted 18 all for himself.
Yeah. And honestly, he needs somebody in his life, so why not?
He's got Poir.
Oh, no. Yeah. All right, so check this. Fan fiction. Write me up one, people. He's like, yeah, I'm going to take care of Marin, and then 18's eventually going to get to see me as the strong father type, and then she's going to want me bad. And then they get together. That's what he has going on in his head, but he doesn't understand that he's a sociopath, so that's never going to happen.
So yeah, Krillin actually is ready to take him up on that offer.
Honestly,
and Piccolo just like, dude, don't
waste your life.
Literally, yeah, don't waste your life. That is actual suicide, what you're trying to do.
Yeah, and then we go to Gohan, actually.
Yeah, Gohan and Videl, who are taking care of Mr. Satan, because he got knocked into a wall.
Oh man!
Last episode when he's trying to calm down Boo and Beerus, they both smack him.
How is that guy not dead? That guy gets thrown 100 feet at like 50 or 60 miles an hour constantly.
Well, from what I remember, I could be wrong on this, but he's the only Earthling who's never died
ever. Well, yes,
because he was the only one that went with
that survived the Earth exploding.
Yep.
That's really funny, actually.
He's a survivor.
The only Earthling that survived.
Hey, man, he's a survivor. That's what he does. But yeah, Videl and Gohan are nursing him back to health, and he seems to be getting a little better. He's probably super concussed.
Oh, yeah, that guy doesn't have a brain anymore. They probably have to use one of the Dragon Ball wishes to make him not brain dead. But, that's for another time.
They're taking care of him, and Videl asks Gohan, like, hey, are all of them just holding back because Beerus, that guy up there, is friends with Vegeta? Mm-hmm. And Gohan explains, like, no.
We might have just picked a fight with somebody whose powers we can't even begin to comprehend.
Yeah, they weren't holding back at all. Yeah. And he takes off his glasses.
He pulls a classic Horatio Kane and
pulls off his glasses, says a dope punchline, and then we cut to the commercial.
Yeah.
And when we come back, guess what? Boo is back.
I'm done with... I like Boo only...
Round 2. Round 2 was okay.
Yeah, I like Boo only with Satan, though.
Mr. Yeah.
Yeah. He's, on his own, whatever. I get annoyed with him pretty fast. It's just, he's a big pink blob.
Yeah, so Boo is back. He got up from his food card-induced coma. Mm-hmm. And he is he's angrier pissed than before. And he flies up to Beerus, and this time he's just trying to punch him, and it's having no effect. Mm-mm. And while this is happening, Dende figures it out.
Little Green?
Mm-hmm. Little Green, yeah. Little Green figures it out. He's watching him, and he just sees, this is Boo, and he's not even laying a finger on him.
And then he's it just clicks in his brain, and he's like, I know what this guy is. He's a deity. And then where Piccolo's like, what? You mean he's some kind of god? So, Piccolo's just here for an echo for the entire episode, mostly. Just in a different wording.
Yes, Nail, because that's what a god is. A deity.
Yes. And, yeah, that's pretty much what sums Piccolo up in this episode, just being an echo.
An echo chamber.
Yes.
Yeah, so Dende figures it out. He realizes that he's most likely a deity. And then right in that moment, Gohan is powering up, and he tries to attack Beerus to just end it, because arguably Gohan is the strongest person on
right
that
now.
boat.
This is what 6 months out from
I think
right around
so.
That time period, so
yeah.
He hasn't lost that much ground in terms of his strength, because we do see him become what seems to be his ultimate form.
Yeah,
and at that, when he's in his ultimate form, he might have become a little weaker in a 6 month period, but
he's still up there.
He's probably the strongest person there, even though Whis says he's probably not the fighting type. He probably has a higher power level currently than Vegeta, in my opinion.
I would agree with that too. So yeah, Gohan powers up. He flies straight at Beerus trying to end this, and he gets one-shotted. Beerus grabs Boo, swings him around,
like a baseball
hits
bat.
Gohan with him, and just knocks them into the earth.
Yep.
Well, into the boat.
The ship, yes. But yeah,
and then just throws Boo through the ship.
Yeah, Boo's just getting wrecked. He needs to cut it out.
So yeah, and by that point you have Gohan's down, Ten Shinhan, 18. Piccolo is pretty much down. Mm-hmm. Boo, you're out of fighters.
There's nothing left. And then
we jump back to the food cart.
Yeah, I'm over that.
Are you though? Because
no,
that's when
this is when we get Peach.
Yeah.
Princess Peach.
Whis is now eating shrimp, and he says, I've had shrimp before, but never like the way you're doing it right now. You are quite a prodigy. And he goes, oh, thank you, sir. And Whis asks, would you mind adding the shrimp to the to-go box? Oh, yeah, absolutely. And why do I keep calling it Beerus? Whis says, probably my line of the episode, oh, you are such a peach.
God, it's so sad that, I feel like if he had any say in the matter, he would save that guy from imminent destruction. You would take that guy with him.
I think he would.
Yeah, he seems like a nice enough guy.
So, once again, Whis loves food. Yeah.
Whis loves food.
Yeah.
Callback. Let's.
Speaking of Whis loving food, his voice actor just posted on Twitter a little bit ago in Milwaukee, which is not very far from us.
Really
We're probably about an hour and a half outside of Milwaukee. And he said, when you're in Milwaukee, you have to eat at least 3 or 4 dozen handfuls of these things. And these things are cheese curds.
Really?
Hashtag Whis eats.
That's good. I like that. That's super funny.
It's great. They're really...
They love they're their character. They love their characters that they play, which is good to see. That means that at least they're gonna do the best that they can to make that character come to life, and not just like they're not there for a paycheck, which is cool. I like that.
That was cool. So yeah, we tells him that he's a peach. He's like, "Oh, thank you, sir." And now Beerus is just really done.
And that's
he's ready to end it.
He's like, all right, it's time to go, and he's legitimately powering up an energy blast to destroy the Earth,
and that seems to knock Vegeta out of his days.
Oh yeah, I'm being a real P right now.
The Prince of all Saiyans.
A real Prince of all Saiyans, I should say.
So yeah, Vegeta powers up. He's ready to take on Beerus because why not?
I mean, like, if you're gonna die anyway, might as well give it a shot because everybody else did.
And he has no luck. He flies up.
Beerus stops him again.
Beerus, he comments like, "You're really this stupid?
This is what you call might? Like, this is what you call power?
You Saiyans are pathetic.
No, you have like the gall to call yourself a warrior race, and this is what you call power."
Yeah.
And then he stomps his face into the ground, just like he did to...
epic.
Yeah. Oh, man. Vegeta's getting real torn apart here, just his ego in general.
Yeah, so Beerus has foot on head,
and he's
face into the ground, and Bulma's looking on in horror, and Beerus says probably the best line of the entire... in my mind, in the entire series so far. He compares Vegeta to his dad because that's the same thing he did. Just stomp his face into the earth.
All this muscle flexing and all this kind of stuff, and he couldn't even scratch my heel.
And then he says, "You and your father, you're the same," which kind of blew my mind because if you think about it, Vegeta is eons stronger than his dad.
Oh yeah, but
like, he says,
but his power is so infinitesimal that like he just can't distinguish the two.
The difference between
he's like,
them.
Yeah, he's a little stronger, but whatever. He's nothing.
You're the same. You're weaklings pretending to rule from imaginary thrones, which is just savage.
Which is exactly what Vegeta is. The entire series just saying he's the Prince of all Saiyans constantly when there's 6 of them. If that.
Yeah, you look at you, the Prince of all 2.5 Saiyans.
Royal blue.
But yeah, that comment from Beerus was just absolutely
super
brutal.
savage. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Vegeta. He backs off.
He's done. Beerus jumps back.
He's ready to blow him away, and Vegeta actually kind of accepts his death for a minute. He's like, well, at least it took Beerus the Destroyer to take me down.
What a way to die. Yeah.
Yeah, and then...
going again in battle against the Destroyer deity. And Beerus actually comments, is like, you know what? You would be surprised how many people don't understand the honor of that. And he's ready. He closes his eyes. He's smiling.
And then, like, he can, like... I don't know if he like senses Bulma walking towards Beerus, but he's like you see his face become a little uncomfortable, and then he looks up.
Well, I don't think he was sensing anything. I think he was smiling. He was ready, but it was taking a little too long for him. Yeah. So he was just like, "When's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen?" You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, right in that moment, Bulma walks right up to Beerus, who has an energy blast that could presumably destroy the Earth. Yes. Charged up, and slaps him in the face. And she just tells him off, like, she's like, "You weren't even invited.
I was trying to be a gracious host. Yeah. You can get off of this boat now."
And at this entire time, Beerus is not looking at her. And Vegeta is horrified at what just happened. Yeah. Because Bulma, no, why? Oh, why did you do that? And Beerus turns. Balls, man. Yeah, yes, she does. Beerus turns, stares down Bulma, and Bulma does not back down. It's like, "Are you deaf or something? Can you not speak?" And Beerus just
looking real as he's like he puts his hand up, and Vegeta's freaking. He's like, "No, have mercy. Whatever you're gonna do to her, do to me,"
which is very honorable.
Yeah, he loves his wife. Like, you can tell that from a mile away.
And Virus just gets this sinister smirk and backhands Bulma across the boat to be caught by Trunks and Goten.
Like, she was flying, man. It was rough.
Which is kind of funny because it sounded like a very small slap. But she went flying.
Yeah, and Vegeta is not a happy camper at this point.
Nope.
He's like losing his damn mind almost.
He really is. First his mouth is agape. He's just
like,
making a bunch of noises. And it's almost like he just has an aneurysm or something because he starts holding his head. He's covering his face. Throws a hand down on the deck, and he's like, you can tell he's like shaking.
It's like, I can't compare it to anything in the series so far.
His rage broke. And
like, even when Gohan lost it with 16, like, it was like Gohan was just like crying and then he yelled, but like, he's literally losing his damn mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he's just shaking, and he finally talks and says, what did you do to my Bulma? And powers up into Super Saiyan 2, like, maximum overdrive edition.
He doesn't have pupils for a minute, which is always a sign of power. Shout out to Broly.
Well, Ultra Trunks.
Ultra Trunks Broly. Actually, Broly was designed off Ultra Trunks because it was made afterwards.
Interesting. The more you know.
Yeah, I found that out from a Geekdom 101 video, actually.
Shout out to Geekdom 101. We will not link you in this podcast.
Probably not.
Because I forget to do it.
Yes.
Vegeta is just powering up, and he's just like electricity everywhere. Everybody is horrified. Not horrified, but just like in awe of his strength at this in this moment. Except Whis, who's just kind of eating and giving him a side eye like, yeah, it's not impressive. It's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
And Vegeta's pissed.
Yeah.
He looks up at Beerus and he tells him, I'm going to make you suffer for what you've done. And starts like laughing. Like he's lost it.
Oh, yeah. He has no brain. Like he has no sanity left in it.
Yeah, he's just powered by rage in this moment. And that is a great way to end the episode.
Yep. You have to wait for the action, but like as it's been, the episodes without action have been the best ones. I'm so pumped. Even like we're not going to talk about the Japanese in this section, but like even in the Japanese episodes, a lot of the time
the slice of life episodes are the best.
They sure are. Like a lot of people don't like the filler in Dragon Ball Z was different. It just wasn't as good.
Let's drive cars.
Exactly. Bitchin'. But yeah, it just wasn't as good. Like it's really cool to see a lot of the dialogue right now, and I do enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. And that's a big part of what has driven Super over the last year and a half. I mean, we haven't gotten a ton of slice of life in Super, but from here forward, I think you guys who like this style of episode are going to really enjoy what's to come.
Just the series in general, for sure.
So anyway, onto the high-low. What were your high points of the episode?
I talked about them during a lot of the time, which wasn't what we usually do, but I did love Gotenks. I thought like as much as I think Gotenks is annoying, I love the Gotenks Beerus dialogue. It was really, really good. The entire thing just made, I don't know, like there was like a lot of drama and anticipation towards like what was going to happen to these children. Is he really going to like
you can kill Aaron? I don't really care.
Fair enough. Rough, but yeah, it was just a cool scene. I enjoyed honestly, the episode in general was overall solid. Whis was extremely funny, as usual. I don't know. I liked having Piccolo there, but it wasn't satisfactory for me just because he didn't have like a lot of good dialogue.
I like proactive Piccolo and echo chamber Piccolo.
Yeah, it's just sad that Piccolo isn't being utilized as he should be.
I agree.
High-wise, that's really it for me. I thought the episode was overall solid. My favorite part for sure that just stood out the most was the Gotenks Beerus scene.
How about your low?
My low, like I said, I enjoy Piccolo. I didn't enjoy the way that he was used. So that's really upsetting for me. Also, didn't like Yamcha as usual.
Yeah.
Also, I am curious as to what's going on with Goku right now. I do want to see some cutaways. It's just...
Yeah, because we haven't really had him in 2 episodes now.
Like, yeah, I do think the series needs to go on without Goku sometimes. but he's the main character. You have to kind of know what he's like. You see this entire episode, and there is no reason that he shouldn't be there at this point in time.
There's a difference between a TV show where, I mean, now we've gone half a month without seeing Goku, and a movie that this saga is retelling, where you don't see Goku for half an hour, 45 minutes.
It's like right now, it's like, where the hell is he? Like, yeah you've been sitting around for long enough. You were so worried the last time you saw you about planet Earth.
Yeah, where we left Goku was, I need to get to the Earth.
And we haven't seen him in half a month. It's nonsense to me. So I think they just need, like, it would be nice to have some explanation as to why he's not there. Like, whether it be he's racking his brain on what to do, or he's training just a little bit.
Just give us a little visual of what's going on.
So yeah, that's one of my biggest complaints. Also, actually, another high that occurs to me is I do like to see Gohan in his ultimate form still. That was cool.
As much as you love Vegeta, you love Gohan even more.
Yeah, Gohan's great.
If you guys can hear my cat, I'm sorry, but the cat got in.
Yeah, she meows a lot, so that'll be
chatterbox.
But how about you? What's your high for the episode?
My high for the episode is, and this is gonna sound stupid, but it's Whis. Because for somebody that powerful, and we don't have a scope on how powerful he is yet, but for somebody as powerful as he is, and knowing that more than likely this planet is going to cease to exist, the respect that he gives to ordinary people is really cool to me.
Yeah, he has a lot of honor, you can tell.
I mean, just somebody as simple as
somebody who
a sushi vendor.
Even like, upsettingly enough, even regular human beings that we see in everyday life, like I see people treat human like servers like absolute dog trash.
Yeah.
All the time. And like this guy, like being an almighty person, possibly, he's obviously more powerful than
so
any.
Much. You're such a peach.
Yeah, he's obviously more powerful than any normal Earthling and high above them, but he treats them with the respect they deserve.
Yeah, and that was my high, because normally in these kind of shows you get the guy that's just all powerful, and because I mean Whis is on the villain side.
Yeah, I mean
you don't get somebody like that just being super polite to people.
Yeah,
so. That was my high. Another high is Gotenks, but we already kind of went into that with yours and in the recap. My low, I would have to say, is how much time we spent on Boo. Yeah. I know in terms of screen time, it wasn't a ton.
But like, it's just the rehashing of it 2 different times after that. Why do we need that?
Yeah, we already saw him get beat at the end of the episode, last week's episode, really quickly. And we don't need to see that 2 more times. We know just how strong Beerus is. Vegeta's terrified of him. Vegeta didn't have that kind of issue going up against Boo in the Majin Buu saga.
Exactly.
So I don't need to see Fat Boo
I understand
fight
how
him
powerful
twice.
He is.
We don't need to see that.
I already saw him beat Goku. I don't care. Just keep him out of it. Like, do something else with somebody else.
Right. So that was my low. I don't really have a ton of general negativity in terms of...
This is just a solid episode.
Yeah. So speaking of that, what would you rate it?
Salad wise, like I liked it. I give it a 7.5, almost an 8.
Yeah,
honestly,
I'm there with you. I give it probably an 8.
Yeah,
8 out of 10. Give more if I got to kind of see what Goku was doing and I had less Boo.
Right, but just some change up at least, because like it has just been in one place for a little bit. Yeah. Like I am used to just having cutscenes. Just like even in regular TV, like every TV show I ever watch, I'm just used to change ups.
Couple different storylines.
Just in general.
Yeah.
And
I don't want to spend all this time on one story.
Yeah. It just grows tiresome like for a little bit. Like it'll bring you back in with certain things, but it gets played out.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, overall really solid episode. Can't really wait till next week to see what's gonna happen with Vegeta.
Yeah, no kidding.
We know what's gonna happen from Battle of Gods, but just to see how they zig where that zagged, it's gonna be fun. So that's the end of the dub recap. So now we're going to get into some spoilers. So for those of you who do not want to be spoiled on future episodes of Dragon Ball Super and are just watching it in English week by week, we will leave a timestamp in the show notes for you to jump to. The spoilers will start with our classic spoiler intro.
Our 2-week classic.
So yeah, we'll have our spoiler intro, and we're going to talk about the newest episode of Dragon Ball Super that came out alongside the dubbed episode.
Yep.
And yeah, without further ado, we're going to get into the spoiler section, not sponsored by Portillo's. 第9宇宙ケリのバジル vs 第7宇宙魔人ブー Alright, and we're back for the spoiler section. For those of you who have no idea what was just said, we will translate. The episode title for episode 79 of Dragon Ball Super was Universe 9's Basil the Kicker versus Universe 7's Majin Buu. Very, very self-explanatory.
And it does have prevalence in this episode.
Actually, yeah, in true Dragon Ball fashion, we actually
get what the title's going to give us.
So yeah, the whole episode, we pretty much just get Buu versus Basil.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Buu ends up winning.
He sure does. It's a long, hard-fought battle, but he ends up winning.
Yeah, he would have won a lot earlier if
he took it serious. He just
didn't. If they wouldn't let that wolf take steroids.
Oh man, yeah. What was that? I can't imagine. It looked like the apple of the Tree of Might.
I was gonna say it reminded me of the Tree of Might.
Yeah,
but who knows?
It was really scary. It made him. It was steroids. It's what like they said. It's drugs to pump him up, pretty much. And like surprisingly enough, Zeno was he was like, it's boring otherwise, just let them do whatever the hell they want. God, that voice kills.
Adorable little guy.
But yeah, then the Grand Priest was real scary. He was like,
he was a good mix of scary and...
He was stern.
Father-like.
He was like stern, yeah.
Because what I noticed watching this episode was that every time the Zeno-sama got really excited over something,
he was pretty pumped.
He would kind of look to the side and smile like a parent that's happy.
A proud poppy.
Yeah. Proud Beerus daddy.
Do you think that do you think he's more powerful?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
You don't? I don't know. I think I have a real weird feeling about him because he just does seem to, like you said, fatherly. Like, at the end of the day, like, he could be sort of like the almighty person.
He could be. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest. No. I don't think that, but it wouldn't shock me.
Because, like, it could just be like a take on, like, Christianity where it's like Jesus,
the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Well, it's just Jesus is more prevalent. Like, he's just more I wouldn't say well known. He's just not as vague.
True.
As God in the but not to get into a bunch of religious stuff, but
tune into the religious podcast next week.
But, like, the Grand Priest is very vague. He's just kind of there, and he just seems, like, more controlled over the situation, and everybody does fear him. So, like, he could very well just be playing in the shadows.
Yeah, because, I mean, when Beerus was complaining about the drugs, the PEDs, he gave him one look, and that terrified him.
He was sweating buckets.
Yeah, so... overall, pretty good episode. I really liked it.
Yeah, it was really cool.
We finally got to see Buu fight. I know earlier we just covered Buu fighting Beerus.
But like, for us, actually watching Buu fight, like, after all this time, it's been 79 episodes. It's been a long time since we've had any Buu.
I really like what it took to get him to really fight, too.
I know. Mr. Satan getting injured. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just shows you how strong their connection really is. It's not just Buu just being he is a simpleton idiot, don't get me wrong. But he really does care for Mr. Satan, and he would do anything to make sure that he's safe. No, that's shown through.
That's a relationship where I could see some really weird fan fiction.
Yeah, go ahead and send those to U7 podcast, Universe 7 podcast.
Please don't.
Yeah, please don't. I was lying.
So yeah, it was a good episode. Like we said, it's pretty much just Buu and Basil fighting the whole time, and our Universe 7. Who we represent, obviously.
Go 7.
Against Universe 9 and...
Universe Michael Vick's podcast.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's Supreme Kai.
That guy, Universe I was 9. Just about to ask you about that. That guy is out of his mind. How do you feel about him so far?
He's very sinister. I don't like him one bit. I really like their God of Destruction.
How crazy was it that he seemed to be more compassionate than the Supreme Kai?
Yeah, when Boo's getting his face beat in, he comments, maybe this is too much. Which is never something we would even see Beerus say.
No, not at all. And, like, we're just used to seeing the dynamic between Shin and Beerus for sure overpowers that relationship. He's just like, tells him exactly what he wants and what he needs, and Shin's like, yeah, I don't want to make this guy sad, so I'll do that. He's kind of just like his little bitch.
Well, I don't think that Supreme Kai for Universe 9 is that powerful. Because when Basil got beat the snot crap
Snot crap, huh?
When he got back up,
yeah,
that Supreme Kai, whose name escapes me, was basically telling him, like, you get up, you don't lose, and
he's like, shut your mouth.
Yeah, he snapped back at him, like, just shut it.
That's kind of like how Vegeta would talk to Supreme Kai if he told him something like that, honestly. So that
makes me think that he's not super strong, but he's just a very sinister, evil kind of guy.
But yeah, that guy is extremely weird. Don't like him much. We haven't heard much from the Angel from Universe 9 at all.
No, we haven't heard anything.
That's what I'm saying, which is kind of strange.
He kind of seems like an afterthought, to be honest. I was looking at him and even his design, I was just like, yeah, you don't seem like you have a personality at all.
Not one bit. But the God of Destruction has no relevance either, which is strange. I thought that we were just going to get like a lot of God of Destruction heaviness.
Yeah, I mean, we might. We're only one match in now.
I'm sure we will. So. It's just crazy that he's the more overpowering personality out of the two.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right there. I would definitely agree with that.
Because as we've seen so far, like even with Zamasu or Zamos, however it's going to be pronounced, it's he wasn't, and he was like out of his mind, but in his mind he was justified in what he was doing. He
thought what he was doing was good,
but he wasn't like an overpowering like Beerus type. He wasn't. I don't even know how to explain it. He wasn't like...
Here's how I would explain it.
Sure.
Zamasu was a psychopath. Yes.
Sociopath, but in my opinion.
But he thought what he was doing was the right thing to do. This Supreme Kai for Universe 9 comes across to me as somebody who is evil or very sinister, knows it,
and doesn't
knows that it's not the right thing, but doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just such a weird dynamic and unsettling to see from a Supreme Kai because that person is the god of life for that universe. So to see somebody that dark,
like that say something like,
but it makes me
there's no room for losers in Universe 9.
And when Beerus says, "So this is Universe 9, huh?" Like that says a lot. Like that's got to be like pretty much how all of Universe 9 is. It's got to be just a real malevolent universe, just in general. You can see it from all three other fighters.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you take the other universe is really judging Goku for saying Zenchan.
How are they not seeing that Universe 9 is like despicable?
If you can make that assumption over an entire universe over one thing Goku said, you can make that generalization about Universe 9 because of the Supreme Kai's.
We're never going to go in depth into that universe, guaranteed. But what that speaks out to me is that universe's creations are, by nature, a lot of the time, probably nasty. Pretty malevolent because that's the person that gives life to that universe.
I agree. But yeah, other than that, I mean, if you give a quick high-low.
My high for the episode, like, even though, like, yeah, he is, like, a real, like, gross character, it kind of, like, adds, like, a cool dynamic that I do uncomfortably like, I guess. Just everything about that universe is just intriguing to me because we're never going to find anything out, and I think that's kind of the reason I like it so much. Because after this, like, they're probably not going to be that prevalent.
Probably not, no.
Because we've seen enough of them, and we have so many other universes to cover. So it's just intriguing to see other things. Boo, I liked because I like the Boo Satan thing always. So, like, seeing him get angry over Mr. Satan getting injured.
Well, like you said earlier, you like Boo when he is in a situation with Mr. Satan.
I think they have a really cool dynamic together, honestly. By himself, he's kind of annoying to me. Like, the first part of the episode, it was pretty annoying where he's just, like, playing and whatever not. It didn't really catch my interest that much. I was just waiting for him to give him a real fight instead of seeing him getting kick the crap out of the entire time.
Yeah.
Also liked towards the end where Gohan seems actually ready to fight, which is strange. It seems how, like, you can just kind of see how he's just, like, taking it serious because he understands how serious this tournament is.
Well, you know what is kind of something to keep an eye on? Gohan told Goku in the episode and in the next episode preview, see how strong I am.
Yeah.
And that sounds like somebody who has not an ace up their sleeve, but somebody who's been training and wants to show the fruit of the results to their parents.
And also, like, has that desire, like, not only to fight, but to see, like, his father proud again.
And that's actually it. Goku knows just how strong Gohan can be. So I don't think Gohan would say that unless he knew the result was going to make his dad proud.
Yeah, and it really is, at the end of the day, I think Gohan does want to please his dad, like, because he does have that humanity, and where, like, Goku does, but it's not as strong because, like, his Saiyan blood just kind of bleeds through. But Gohan has those, like, human emotions, just like you or I, where he wants to honor his father. He wants to make him happy. So, at the end of the day, I think, yeah, he wanted to be a scholar for a long time, and he's made Chi-Chi really happy with that, but I think he's starting to get back towards, I want to please my father as well.
Yeah, well, you can be a well-rounded character. It doesn't have to be only fighting or only studying.
Which is what they've been doing with Gohan the entire time. Which is, I'm so glad we have Super for that aspect. I've been waiting for Gohan to have an arc where his character develops more instead of just ending up how he ended up. Because I think he is a more well-rounded character than that, and he always has been.
Yeah, I agree. My high would be Zenshan. Anytime those two talk, it gives me life.
It's extremely cute every single time, for sure.
They're the best, and I'm very curious to see what they'll do for the Funimation dub, but I'm not holding my breath.
I'm gonna say it on this podcast first. I really do enjoy the Japanese version as opposed to the English dub nowadays. I never would have said that when I was younger, but I just think I appreciate it more.
I appreciate them both for what they are.
They're different, for sure, but I think I prefer that.
I'm kind of looking at them almost as two different stories at this point.
Sure, that's fair.
But yeah, that would be my high. My low is that Boo's fight took the whole episode. I was really hoping we get the beginning of the Gohan fight, but that's okay.
That's what we've all been dying for. Like, we really, like, a lot of people have just been waiting for Gohan to do something.
We've waited 79 episodes, so one more week isn't going to kill us.
It might. I might see you next week. I might not. But yeah, it's... any other highs for you at all?
Nah, not really.
No. It was an overall just a pretty straightforward episode.
Yeah, it was a classic Dragon Ball Z fight episode.
Yeah.
So, it was good. Really excited for next week to see Gohan fighting, and
do you have any lows?
What's that?
Do you have any lows?
Yeah, I said my low, didn't I?
We just did highs.
No, my low was that Gohan didn't get to start his fight.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. I didn't do my lows, did I?
I think you did.
Well, maybe. If not, we'll get to him next week. Whatever. But yeah, overall, the episode was good. What would you give it overall?
Yeah, your low is Boo wasting a bunch of time in the beginning of the episode, being annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to rate the episode, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10.
I'm right around that area as well. 7's fine by me. It's nothing too crazy, nothing too poor. I enjoyed it well enough.
Yeah, so looking forward to next week. Make Gohan great again. It looks like it's finally going to happen.
Yeah, the preview looks really cool. We have some news on that, actually. We have news on Gohan in general for those of you that don't mind spoilers.
Yeah, for double spoilers, there isn't going to be any spoiler music for this, so if you don't want
skip at it
to...
like 10 seconds.
Well, I'd go farther than that. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, skip forward like a full minute.
Sure.
Because we'll probably waste a little time on that, so... Yeah, spoilers now. There was a promo image released of all 12 Gods of Destruction.
Yep.
With names and all that jazz.
Yeah,
they're all based on alcoholic beverages, of course.
Yep.
I don't have that list in front of me, so I can't read it.
I know one of them is vermouth, and that's the clown one, and that's pretty funny. Besides that, yeah, there's an Ultimate Gohan's back. Like, he's back to his full power, it seems like. And what was the exact description on that? I forget.
There wasn't a description. It was a tweet from Herms, but he basically said that it looks like the Gohan of old, who was strong enough to surpass his father back then, is going to be back.
Which is awesome. That's what I've been dying to hear. I'm so pumped. I said this before. I think that Gohan's going to have a really big part of this arc, and it seems to just keep going more and more towards that.
Well,
fashion.
the long arc that he's had kind of makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
He spent all this time just worrying about protecting his family and being a good family man. And now it's time to put his money where his mouth is.
Right.
You have to protect your family. You have to win this tournament to ensure your family stays alive.
Exactly. So it's going to push him to that point where we wanted to see him for a really long time.
Overall, this arc is going to be awesome. We're 3 episodes in now, I think, and it's looking really, really good.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it for the spoilers. Just the 12... Or Universe 12, or all 12 universes.
The 12 Gods of Destruction.
And Gohan, and that's Gohan. Really it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Any predictions coming up?
I don't know.
No, I really don't either.
Don't.
We've made a couple, and like it could go any fashion from this point on. I do think Vegeta's not going to have a very big part in this arc because they do keep kind of pushing him towards the side like they had been with Gohan before. I think Gohan is going to be bigger than Vegeta in this arc.
I hope so.
Me too. I really do. But that's really the biggest one I can make, and I can't give any specifics because we don't have anything new.
Yeah, we don't really have any evidence to support that, really.
That's just a feeling.
Yeah, that's more of us projecting what we want Super to be instead of what we think Super will be.
Yeah, 100%.
Hopefully those two converge and become the same thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, that's this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super out in the East. We will be back next week to cover episodes 8 and episodes 80. Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Of Dragon Ball Super. So subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave a review, whether it's good or bad, we'll take it.
Yeah.
If you want to reach out to us on social media, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, some interaction.
We're on Twitter at Universe7Pod. We are on Facebook. Just search Universe7 Podcast and we'll show up right there. Shoot us an email, universe7pod@gmail.com. So thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. We hope you'll be back with us. Have a great week, and until next time,
Adios.